Thank you for tuning into the Dr. Diane Show, revolutionary expansion of mind, body, and soul with me, Dr. Diane Hayden. Tune in every Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on transformationtalkradio.com. Center your thoughts on what you want and shut the door on every suggestion of fear, worry, or lack from your own consciousness or the consciousness around you. Once you master that, everything is possible. To learn more about me, Dr. Diane, and receive a free digital subscription of my magazine, visit naturalnutmeg.com. Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Diane Hayden, and you are listening to the Dr. Diane Show on Transformation Talk Radio. Stay with us for the next hour where we will explore revolutionary expansion of mind, body, and soul. Each time on the Dr. Diane Show, we have experts from around the country discussing cutting-edge topics on longevity medicine, natural health, mindset, spirituality, and soul purpose to help you shift your perspective and become a mindset warrior like me. I'm excited today to have Agnes Daddona. She is one of the best psychic mediums in New England. The gift of intuition runs in her family for generations. For more than 20 years, Agnes has worked with thousands of people worldwide through psychic readings, mediumship, channeling angels, counseling, healing, and teaching in English and Polish. Agnes has transformed many people's lives to meet their dreams. She continues to solve the most difficult issues when it seems no one else can help. Agnes offers special sessions in her spa in Avon, Connecticut, over the phone or via Zoom. So welcome, Agnes. How are you today?
Very good. Pleasure to be here.
Awesome, awesome. So the first question that I'm going to ask that I think a lot of people or our listeners want to know is what is the difference between a psychic and a medium, and how do you differentiate that in terms of your work?
That's actually a very good question, Diane, because psychic is someone who's gifted, who can see the future events, who can see the aura, chakras, energy, pieces of the past lives. On the other hand, medium is someone who can communicate with the other side, who can channel the loved ones on the other side and engage the loved one in a conversation, which can be very transforming and healing for the person who's being connected. So sometimes I say, not every psychic can be medium, and not every medium can be psychic. It happened that I have both of these gifts, but I think this is very important to know, when booking a session, what kind of experience one may want to have. Mm-hmm.
Right, exactly. And we've worked together many times. I love your work and just your energy and all
Oh,
that. And
thank you.
it is pretty amazing to have the combination together, because I think it's helpful to, sometimes people just want to connect with someone who's passed over. But a lot of times I think they probably also come to you with other questions or issues or things that they're dealing with that they want to know, am I making the right decision here? Or what do you see, in the future for me? So I think it's interesting because you'll get information from both of those areas.
True. And the most common is actually my clients come for psychic reading. And during the psychic reading, there is all of a sudden a visitation, and for some people that may be a surprise, but it happens in such an amazing way. So, I like to also add that I have a therapeutic background, so I always try to bring that aspect of healing and balancing and really, healing can happen on both sides, for the loved one who passed, who maybe didn't have a chance to say final words, but also for the person who was left behind, right? So during the mediumship on the other side, when my clients come and they want only that mediumship, but then I pick other aspects and I try to give them all kinds of information, how did that happen, what are the signs, there's so much, the reading is always very complex and reveals so much more than there's that one question on I want to connect to that one person. Sometimes I have many people come through. So let's say a client wants to come and connect to their mom who just passed, and all of a sudden I have the father, or I have a pet coming through, they've lost when they were a child. So this is quite amazing. It's always a wonderful surprise.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people also are, they want a specific person to come through,
Mhm.
but we don't really have any control over that, right? Like I think sometimes people think you have control over that. Like you could just dial up the person on the phone
Well,
and say, "Hey, come on," like, "Hello." But correct me if I'm wrong, like a lot of times it's their decision if they're going to come, and work with you, so to
this
speak.
is actually a profound question, because especially with the mediumship, because anybody can come to me and do a psychic reading about their past, future, and in mediumship. Yes, it happens a little bit on a basis, is that person ready to connect on the other side? Are they available? But through my gift, I usually try to make that beautiful connection. But even though I don't get the connection, I try to connect through that person who passed, spirit guides and angels. So I'm trying to literally call and get the information and the energy. So even sometimes that person doesn't come through, but I will give them all descriptions and information about what's going on, what happened, why. So I can pull the information for my clients actually from many sources. But yes, with the visitation, sometimes we get surprises. A person expects this person, another person shows up, but you may want to think about setting the intention ahead of the session and really organizing on an energy level that meeting, like if you send that signal to a loved one, most likely they will come through, they will show up, and they will be there. So this is probably 80% where the loved one is present at the reading.
Right. Yeah. And I
Mhm.
think also it's not getting attached to that having to happen, right? It's,
Exactly, yes.
right.
Hmm.
You'd
Hmm.
like to, but it's okay for whatever reason. Sometimes the timing is not right for you or the person who's passed on or whatever. So you have to have space for that.
True. Everything happens in divine way, divine timing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So why are your particular intuitive readings so popular? I mean, you have a huge business mostly based on word of mouth, and I've worked with you for years, and but I want to hear you, just talk to our listeners a little bit about why you think, what is it that you do, I think, that really sets you apart.
Yeah, I think I number one, I think I have a um, truly beautiful gift which allows me to connect such in such a deep way with my client. So I see the pain, I see the suffering, I see the past, I see the roots of traumas, but I also see the future, I see the gifts, I see the potential. So I think that's my most important flavor. But on the top of it, I also I'm a healer, and I am a therapist, and I am a life coach, and I teach people how to manifest things. So I really have this full rainbow of different flavors in me. And when the client comes to me, I use all my gifts and talents, and I really, which is very important, look at the person in a very holistic way. So I look at their soul, I look at their mental body, emotional body, energy body, physical body. So when we tend to a person in that way, that's where true healing and transformation truly happens. So I think that's important component of my work. I also, have, uh, healing technologies, and, travel the world, always catch the best modality to be able to serve in a most beautiful and efficient way. So I think, the reading is just the beginning of a beautiful healing journey, but you can do so much with me. And people feel that they are deeply cared for and loved. And the reading is not only a reading where I send a client to the street after a reading, I really take care of them, the journey continues, and doesn't matter what it is, what level of pain, what trauma, what happened in the past, or maybe they're afraid about something happening in the future. I can help them, and I think I reveal that in a reading, so that makes people feel like they are home, like they are truly, are taken care of from their soul to the very physical body level, and I can make sure that taken care of on a very deep level. Yeah, that's probably why.
Yeah, I think I mean I can talk, for hours about the work that you do, and I think for me this what was surprising was just it's not just come to you for a reading and then, go on your way and maybe come back 3 months from now or however,
Yeah.
however often people, typically go to their intuitive. It was more okay, now we're going to take the, what did we learn in this session? And now we're going to see what things need to be healed potentially on the physical level or even on an energetic level. And
Mhm.
you were really the first, intuitive that I had ever experienced that with, where there were all these other modalities that you offer for someone to kind of work through whether there's trauma or stress or an illness or whatever it might be. I mean, normally people, I think people expect they're going to go to a psychic, they're going to get the reading, and then like you said, they're going to be off on their way and that's the end of it. But you take it, I mean, you continue to help the person on their journey. I mean, part of the reason why people go, I think, to psychics and mediums and intuitives is because they're struggling with something. And
Mhm.
so whether that's a health issue or it's some trauma or whatnot, it's, they're coming to you because they're struggling. And so you can give them information, but then what happens next? Like normally the person has to go on their way and figure it out. Whereas you're offering all these other modalities that they, can heal from through, through what you offer, which is awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Because my deep, heart desire and goal is to be able to truly help the person, to bridge them to a better place in their life, so they're happy, so they are free from pain, and not only witness them, not only read them, but truly to help them. And I think that's you captured this in a beautiful way.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And like that's what I would say is what really sets you apart is that, rather than having now to figure out, okay, well, my intuitive told me this information and now what am I going to do with it? Am I going to have to figure it out on my own? Am I going to have to go find another, another practitioner or a healer that I'm going to work with? You can't, you offer all of this right within, your own space. And it's just such a nice, you know, um, next step or bridge or whatever you want to call it to helping that person, move along on their journey. So we're going to talk a lot more about what Agnes offers. You're listening to the Dr. Diane Show with me, Dr. Diane Hayden. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll explore more about Agnes Daddona and intuitive counseling. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're back on the Dr. Diane Show with me, Dr. Diane Hayden. But before we continue, I want to make sure everyone knows how to contact me. You can find me at www.drdianehayden.com or at either of my two publications, www.naturalnutmeg.com and www.essentialnaples.com. And you can learn more about Agnes Daddona at www.agnesdaddona.com. That's AGNESDADDONA.com. So welcome back, Agnes. We're just talking about, why people would, go to a psychic or a medium, the difference between that, specifically why your intuitive readings are so popular. And I was just thinking as we were on break, um, as part, part of your bio was saying that you come from, generations of psychic mediums. I think people would be interested to hear, you know, just tell us a little bit about your family and how you grew up and how you developed this, because I think a lot of people, their intuition or their intuitive capabilities are squashed as a child, whereas with you it must have really been, I'm guessing, like encouraged because of your family.
Correct. So, it's interesting to watch this family tree and pay attention to how many generations. And we come, of course, I come from Poland, and we have a lot of children. In each generation, there's a lot of kids always, and only last kid will inherit the gift.
Oh, you
Uh,
mean like the youngest child in each family?
Yes, in
Oh, that's so
every
interesting.
single one. So like my grandma, and then my mom, who has many siblings, and even I have three sisters, and none of them has it. I'm the last child, and it travels like that. So this is fascinating to see how the gift is traveling. And I definitely, undeniably, was born with it. So I knew from the when I was just a few years old, I could predict things. I knew, I sensed. I could predict when people would die. Like literally, I would say it to my parents, and someone will die next day. So, for a child, to be connected that deeply, but I would always have those dreams so vivid, and I would be informed in so many different ways. So, definitely encouraged by my mom. But my mom, it's extremely intuitive. And I grew up in an environment when that was normal, when that was there was we didn't talk about it. That was just the way of being.
Yeah.
And it's funny saying, because my mom will always say something profound, and if anybody try to argue with her, she will say, I know what I know. Because she will pull this information, this feeling from source, and she would be always right. So it's I grew up definitely with strong connection to spirit, very deeply religious mom, but who would be positive and encouraging towards believe in angels and good energy, and she would help everybody around her. And really, I think as a child, it cultivated this gift in me stronger, and it taught me to live with an open heart, to help other people. I think not only I got the gift from her, but also preparation for my work I do today. And my story is, I always knew, I always could predict things. The very big activation happened when I was getting into my teenage years, and I started noticing it's more and more. I started noticing the difference between me and other people, that I would be kind of always a little bit more informed. And when I went to school, even more. So the more I was exposed to the world, I definitely knew, and people were questioning me, how did you know that? Oh my God, how did you know that? Right? I was a little bit almost overwhelmed by that gift. That's why my very first path, I always had a mission to help people, but my very first path, actually, I studied law, and I graduated, and I didn't like it, so I switched to psychology, sociology, and I went into that therapeutic path, and I totally, I started doing my Ph.D. I was working in a private clinic in New York. I was so committed. I was so passionate about it, and all of a sudden, angels, dreams, calling, it's just activated on a very deep level. And I was like, over 20 years ago, I was like, no, 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 no. I don't want to leave all my degrees, everything I worked so hard for. But it was very consistent. And one that was 5 months of me really resisting. And one day I was driving in a car in the morning, and I got into a car accident, pretty dramatic, because two cars smashed me right in the middle, very unusual. And
It's
the
a wake
car
up
got
call,
flat.
right? Like,
Yeah, wake up
hey, you're
call.
not listening to us.
Yeah, car got flattened. The door popped open. The only spot which wasn't smashed was where I was sitting. The door open. I came out in one piece, and I just heard, "Are you ready now?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, here I am today, a very humble servant. Okay, that taught me a lesson, but it was also beginning of a beautiful journey. Mhm. Spirit came very true, strong, and that was my new truth. I started living that life of service. I went to Manhattan to special school. My gifts exploded. That's how I knew I have all the gifts. I could smell, taste, feel, see. I could see loved ones on the other side. I was popping every electronic things, computer lamps. I knew I have it all because that's how it activated in me. And the amount of people who came immediately to me was just a confirmation. I attracted so many people for healing and readings that I couldn't handle. So I knew I was divinely called to do what I do until today.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to ask you that question, but you answered it. Whether you saw things or you heard things, or some people feel, but it's you have all of those
I have
intuitive gifts.
all the channels open, wide open for sure.
Yep,
Mhm.
yep. So, what type of client typically comes to you? Like who are your clients?
I think I attract the entire rainbow of people because I have children, I have teenagers, I have women, I have men, I have spiritual people, I have practical people, I have believers, I have non believers. I think it's just who shows up at my door is the person who really is connected to that spirit already and is looking for answers, activate their soul purpose, better their life, manifest their dreams. There's on some level they're already prepped, and they just need that help, that bridge, that kind of holding hand just for a minute so they can better their life. So I have a really big clientele of different ages and different needs, actually.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, it's non-believers. That one, I didn't expect you to say that. I was like,
Yes.
wow, you really have people that come to you that don't
Mhm.
believe what you do.
Yes, they do, because they actually come and they want to prove themselves that they are right. But these are
Ah,
who cry the most and the deepest. And when the energy opens, it's just like, I love non-believers because those to see that, when they are really going through the transformation, and they can say, oh my God, that's really, very heartfelt moment for me, because I'm literally connecting them to spirit and angels, and they feel the light, and they leave not the same person, when they came to me. So yeah, I have quite a bit of non-believers, yes, and they will their soul comes, their soul makes an appointment with me, I think,
yep,
although the other parts may be resistant. I always I
right.
always like to look at this like in that way.
Yeah. Well, what you said is most of the work that you do is helping people who are either trying to find their soul purpose or on the path already and they just need some guidance and that kind of thing. So I would imagine in the last 3 years, because of everything that's happened and what we've gone through, that you I would imagine that you have had a lot of people coming to you now to try to say, like, I've had this career for X number of years, and you know what, it's just I'm done with it, and I know there's something else I'm meant to do.
Correct. And I think even bigger wave of people who maybe they weren't connected to light, to angels, to God, because everybody will have their own kind of flavor how they connect. It doesn't have to be religious, doesn't have to be spiritual, it can be something in the middle, you know. But I think more people even come with, you know, how is the other side? How do I connect deeper? What's my soul purpose? And yes, because the times that this ascension which we are going through created this kind of, I like to say, washing machine, when we all kind of washing away the past and we are finding out who we really are and who we want to become. I think this is what made a lot of people, um, you know, put them in that transition when they are in these crosswords and they are questioning, am I in the right relationship? Am I at the place of work where I'm going to fulfill myself? Is that the end for me? Like, should I change that? A lot of spiritual awakenings. People started dreaming a lot more. So we are definitely getting into that heightened awareness, which makes me so happy, because it's a true sign that we are changing as humanity and we are growing. And although we are doing this in a little troubled way, it's not comfortable right now, right? But it's still happening. And the most eye-opening momentum for me, I have the entire line of children who are so intuitive, who are so wise, who are so literally, sometimes I want to say, wiser than their parents who bring them. And seeing that transformation when the kids awaken, and they hold sometimes such an amazing energy of the soul. So I think the more kids are coming, the new generations, they literally hold more light. They're coming
Yeah,
with a stronger energy, which for me to witness that.
that is
So
amazing. Yeah,
sometimes I talk to 5 years old and 1 years old, and they are talking like you're talking to an adult
I
who's
know, I know. We got to go to break, but we're going to talk more about that when we come back. You're listening to the Dr. Diane Show. We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're back on the Dr. Diane Show with me, Dr. Diane Hayden, and I'm talking today with Agnes Daddona. You can learn more about her at www.agnesdaddona.com. That's AGNESDADDONA.com. So before the break, we were talking about all the wonderful children that are coming to you and just how intuitive they really are and just their wisdom. Are you finding that like these kids intuitive capabilities are not being squashed is the word that comes to mind? Do you find that the parents today are more encouraging of their children's intuition? Because that's amazing.
I would actually say that the kids are pretty prepared and so much strong and confident in their energy, in that it's not even about, not no one can squash them. They are just
Mm,
wise. They, usually, in my spa, this is just a good example. I have this mom or dad bringing them, say, my child is sensitive, my child sees energy, my child has these dreams, my child is talking about all these angels and this and that, and I really don't know what to do.
right.
So there is this moment when the parent wants to come into the room and they say, I'm going to come in because my son is shy, or my daughter, she'll never be with a stranger in the room. I'm like, and don't worry about it.
Right.
I grab the kid. We have the greatest time. They tell me everything. And I never talk to them like I'm talking to a child. I will talk to them like I'm talking to an old soul. And this
Mhm.
is profound what comes out of these children. So I think we really have a new generation of healers who are coming to this planet to help to raise the vibration. But this is very, very, very intensified lately, in my practice. So I always observe which waves, right? Who is coming and what's happening. So that's very big eye opener.
Yeah. What
So,
ages are you finding?
oh my goodness, 3, 5, 10,
Wow.
12, and I mean all ages, all ages. They are just old soul. I mean, they know from the moment they were born why they came here, and what
Yep.
to do.
Yeah, it's an interesting time for sure. I mean, I could tell you just with with publishing holistic magazines, what's happened in the last few years is just, I find that people are just so much more aware and interested, and a lot of people that I think are coming out of careers that they weren't happy with were careers in traditional healthcare, careers in, like IT or
Mhm,
something like insurance or whatever, so I'll
mhm,
call it a more dry subject, and
right.
they're interested in either spirituality or metaphysics or natural medicine. They're interested in all these, things that we do
Mhm.
to help, progress humanity and heal ourselves and the planet. So it's been amazing to see.
Yes, there's a lot of soul awakening, and I think people also activating their dreams, higher soul purpose, other gifts and talents, which were sleeping beauties before, and this ascension is really bringing to the surface. So other qualities of that particular soul can be activated. That's why they may be drawn to new things or try new things or get deeper into spirituality. So this is definitely another sign, because this is massive right now. So it's another sign that we are truly transmuting, really shifting into higher frequency. And we are definitely doing a soul work, which I didn't see on this planet since I started doing the work over 20 years ago. This is definitely the most intensive.
Which is awesome to hear. I mean, this
Yes.
conversation is so inspiring to me because I feel like there's a lot of people that feel like there's so much craziness going on in the world that it's never going to be better. Like it's only going to go downhill from here. I hear a lot of people talk about, whether they're talking about politics or the environment or you name it, some people have kind of this just defeated attitude about it, like, well, the golden years are over. Now it's going to be downhill. It's never going to be the same, blah blah blah. But I love having conversations like this because I feel like when I hear you talk, it sounds like, wow, this is like the best time to be alive because, well, like you said, more people are awakened, more people are interested in soul purpose. And it's a completely different viewpoint.
True. And I think, because a lot of people are looking at this transition from the mental perspective. They are not connected to their soul yet, so they are not aware what's truly happening. When you look from the soul perspective, you realize that what's happening on this planet right now, it's absolutely needed.
Mm.
It's almost like we have to push through that crust. We are releasing karma. We are releasing deep wounds and traumas, and that's a lot of people coming to me with that now. We're releasing the pieces of the past which are darker. We are going into that really beautiful, fresh, new energy of the future, where we are becoming a little bit more angelic. We are cleansing the deep pockets, the soul, bottom of the soul, right? So I think because those people who are looking at this from the mental perspective only, they can only see piece of the future. They don't see the bigger picture.
Mhm.
Maybe that's why they get scared. They get uncertain what's happening. But when we look at the spiritual we look through that bigger window, and we see, angels are all talking about bringing better days. But we have to go through the pain to get to the higher level of love, sometimes. So this is the human experience, the the negative, the positive. We are learning in between, and I think that's how we are being tested a lot right now, because we have an opportunity to really be negative, or we can start looking at those positive aspects of this transition and say, hey, something like that never happened on this planet. And we are changing at the core. We had warnings on this planet, we had volcanoes, we had all kinds of shifts, and we weren't waking up. So now something like that happened in the last few years. So no one on this planet could ignore, and everybody on this planet had to be part of. You
Right.
see, so this is a collective soul lesson for humanity. And I think we are actually progressing very nicely from my observation. Yes, there is a lot of pain, and everybody's releasing something, and it's some days can be very hard, but we have to remember the bigger plan.
Mm.
And
Which
I think,
brings me to talking about your healing modalities because I think that's something that's really important. And what I love about the fact that you combine these two things when someone comes to you for a reading, then you can, what may transpire through the reading might give insight into, okay, what do they need to do next on their journey? And here are the different healing modalities you offer. So let's talk about that. What are some of the other things that you offer for people?
Yeah, and that's probably, very, very important because all the readings now have that part of, oh my God, I am traumatized. I am scared. This happened, that happened, so there is a lot of need for healing. Well, I offer the entire rainbow of healing modalities, from simply therapeutic to things like past life regression, to things like, even hypnosis, or art therapy, from the very practical, which uh you know um they tend to the mind, right? But I also pay attention how to heal energy body, how to heal physical body, how to tend to the soul. So I have healing technologies which go a little bit more in depth. For example, my DNA technology goes and helps release the deeper pockets. And it doesn't matter if it's mental, emotional, energetic body, or physical body. I also have something which is called crystal bed therapy. And this is really deep therapy, which is more rejuvenating, and it's a sound, color, crystal magnetics. I channel in places of power, so I attach beautiful pieces of meditation to those treatments, where we really can go and rejuvenate. But also, the most importantly, I open the biggest channel, angelic channel, in my crystal bedroom. So true transformations and angel visitations even happen. I mean, magical moments my clients experience, because this treatment takes client a little bit higher, and also they can align with their angels, spirit guides, loved ones on the other side. But also, I design this entire treatment towards one goal. Okay, let's cleanse, let's heal, but let's also manifest your dreams. Let's get you to a place where you can actually shift your reality into better one. Okay, so I also have, for those people who are really touchy and they need to see and know, I do aura photography. The beautiful part about taking, long time ago, that wasn't even possible. So the aura photography, it's being taken in 3D, so my clients can actually see their authentic picture. That's based on science and psychology a little bit too. So not only they take a picture of their aura, they can take pictures of their chakras and see what's blocked, what's working, what's not. The system is going to generate a very important information, like what is your energy level, how strong is your aura, what is your personality type, and what will be the best ways to help yourself, based on that picture of aura and chakra. So it comes with amazing recommendations. So I think this is offering a higher level of taking care, not only about your mind and emotional body, but also energetic body, physical body, soul. Again, the holistic approach. I make sure I have good modality for every part.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. And it's for people who live in Connecticut, in Avon, they can come to your spa and check it out. You have a number of different beautiful rooms with all of these amazing healing modalities that you've been talking about. And like I said, I think it's just so important for someone who comes to a reading to then be able to actually continue on with you and get some of this healing as well. So we're going to talk about a lot more of this. You're listening to the Dr. Diane Show. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be talking more about intuitive counseling with Agnes Daddona. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're back on the Dr. Diane Show with me, Dr. Diane Hayden. I am talking today with Agnes Daddona, and you can learn more about her at www.agnesdaddona.com. That's AGNESDADDONA.com. And you can learn more about me at www.drdianehayden.com. And I was talking, when we went to the last break, I was talking a little bit about if people are local in Avon, Connecticut, they can come and see your beautiful space. But I know that you basically can see people anywhere because we're talking about energy and energy is everywhere. So let's talk a little bit about, how you offer services for people as well online. How does that work?
So I have clients all over the world, and I wanted to, and this is such a common question when people call me and say, I want to come in person, but I live far away. I say, honey, I work with your spirit guides and angels, and you give me your date of birth, and it's like a little energetic key for me. I find your soul. I'm gonna to have all the information for you exactly as if you were sitting in front of me. People also, I try to educate everybody that the same goes with all my sessions, all my even energetic session, because if I can have access, which they give me, right, with their permission, to their aura, I'm working with their soul, I'm working with their spirit guides and angels, I can directly send the energy and help, and people feel that too, which is the most profound experience for those people who are a little bit more sensitive. So the distance, it really doesn't exist when we talk about healing. So people are calling me from all over the place and all kinds of different sessions, and they have wonderful results. So yeah, I think during the last few years, even more people are actually doing for even for their comfort sessions from home, over the phone, or via Zoom, or distance energetic sessions. So this got a little bit more comfortable, I think, for everybody in the last few years.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, to be able to do it from anywhere. I mean, obviously, whether it's just being comfortable in your own home or maybe, people don't know someone that's local to them. And so this is a
Mhm.
great opportunity that, you see people virtually. So what's required from new clients when they come to do a reading for the first time?
Yeah, so I always recommend a reading as a very first step, because we can really see what's needed, what's blocked, what's the past, what's the future, gifts, talents, what's the, you know, purpose, the path moving forward. And I always recommend to my clients that they prepare their questions. This is so important, because in a reading with me, everybody gets so excited. There is so much information. I get excited, okay? um there's so much information, there's so many amazing things happen, like I said, surprises happen, visitations, that I always say, have this list of questions, so we make sure the session is organized, we don't miss anything. And I'm a channel, so take me to those places you need the answers. And I do angel cards, but I usually open them on the end of the session when everything is already set for confirmation for my client. But yeah, the most important part is prepare, because you're not only preparing for me, you're preparing for your spirit guides and angels. You're sending these questions ahead of time so you can get the best answers, the best care, the things you really would like to happen in that reading. In that, it's actually reading and healing with me. When I do readings, I do healings immediately the same way, the
Right.
same
Yep.
time.
And so people can go to your website, agnesdaddona.com, and book intuitive readings. And then I know you also have some events going on. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so I like to work with energy, and my fascinating discovery is that when we get in groups, we get stronger in the light, the energy goes higher. So every month I do angel workshop, which is full of good energy and meditations, and I teach people how to connect to their own angels, and I also teach people how to manifest their dreams, which there's not that many people who even know what their dreams are. So this is very profound experience, and you can grow. Many miracles, many manifestations happen. My clients are raving about it. Another interesting event is I have event which is only for women. I call it Enchanted Evening with Agnes. It's all about activation of the wisdom and power for women, and this is taking place in my spa, but also anybody can join on Zoom. It's gonna be held in October. I also opened the doors this year to private events, which I never have done before, but it's highly requested by my clients. It could be simple girls' night out, and really a little bit more fun and relaxation, because we all need that. And angels come and messages, beautiful messages from spirit, and from spirit guides and loved ones on the other side. And it doesn't have to be so serious. It can be very, very healing and light and fun. So this is my biggest goal for this year. This is going to be I'm going to be offering those events as well.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah. And the fact that people can do them from anywhere is
Yes.
fantastic. And obviously energy is everywhere. So
Yes.
you're able to do that. Um, Real quickly, what is, if you could think of one client that you've worked with that comes to mind of something, something really amazing that happened when you were working with that client, what would it be?
Oh my goodness, I have so many.
I know you got to pick one.
Yeah, I had a lady, beautiful, beautiful soul, old soul, and she was sent to me, referred by another client. And this particular beautiful woman was told she had a cancer, very, very advanced, and she was told by her doctors that they can't do anything for her. They sent her home from all these treatments and God knows what else. And she came to me really with the intention of, Agnes, can you prepare me to go to the other side? Well, my answer was a little bit shocking for her. I said, honey, you're not going anywhere. Because I noticed immediately that her cancer was caused by emotional trauma, not by something which is happening on a physical level. So we worked, a few sessions, and that completely cleared. And she went to her doctor, and he could not believe that actually happened. And to me, it's just that amazing how complex map we are, how all these things are connected: the emotional, the mental, the physical, the soul. So I think this is a profound example how, if we really tend to all the parts of us, including the soul, I mean, healing can happen in ways that we can't even imagine.
Yeah, instantaneously
Mhm.
too. I mean, I just
Yes,
went to the Joe Dispenza retreat, and there were things that happened there that I saw that I would never believed if I didn't see it. I mean,
true.
people got up out of wheelchairs, and essentially, it's just, you have. This is what I really want more people to understand is that you have cellular changes can happen in an instant. And we're not taught this. We don't understand it really. A lot of most doctors, unfortunately, don't understand it or don't believe it, but
Mhm.
you literally can tap into a healthy body of energy or an
Mhm.
unhealthy body
Mhm.
of energy, and that you can change that, just like you were saying the situation with your client, and helping her through that, whether it's through meditation or the different healing modalities that you did with her, that you do with people. You
Mhm.
literally can change it in an instant, and I think more, we need to get that information out to more people.
Yes, I strongly believe that we do. It's time for collective cleansing and healing, and really getting to that level where we can manifest a beautiful reality for ourselves, but also on this planet
Yep.
for the
Yep.
future. Hmm.
Yes, I totally agree. I totally agree. This has been amazing. I want to thank you for all the wonderful information. It's been so inspirational too, and exciting just to hear, about what you do,
Thank
and
you.
your vision, and quite honestly, what the future is going to hold, which I think is exciting. So thank you. Everyone can check Agnes out at agnesdaddona.com. And I want to thank all of you for tuning into the Dr. Diane Show. Please join me the first and third Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. Next time on the show, we'll be discussing more about the power of thoughts and beliefs and the impact they have on your life. Have a great week, and I'll see you back here next time. Thank you for tuning into the Dr. Diane Show, revolutionary expansion of mind, body, and soul with me, Dr. Diane Hayden. Tune in every Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Center your thoughts on what you want and shut the door on every suggestion of fear, worry, or lack from your own consciousness or the consciousness around you. Once you master that, everything is possible. To learn more about me, Dr. Diane, and receive a free digital subscription of my magazine, visit naturalnutmeg.com.